There's little kitty. There's Linda. Hi. You have a good day, kitty. Boy, he's just knocked out. All right, we're dealing with 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 4,794 miles on the odometer. It is a Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Welcome back to the Please Subscribe show, Cole Spivey's YouTube channel. And we're headed off to delivery. All right, 5:51 arrival, 10 minutes, 4.4 mile. Looks like yesterday we did 35.8 miles. All right, if you go to Martha's Villas, you get all bills paid. 817-732-6684. That ends in 6684. And we're headed up to them right now. Martha's Villa. They're apartments, but they're one level. Kind of like duplexes almost. And they have a pool, but I don't know if water's in it. I haven't been able to find that out. According to the Google map, it does show kind of a greenish blue, but I haven't looked at it in satellite. Pulls over that way. And they've got kind of a tattered American flag, but it's still going. Yeah, they've got like a little life preserver thing right there. It's a good chance there's water in that. It's gonna be those right over there. All right, 6:26 arrival, 5 minutes, 2.4 miles. Pretty bright. All right, this is the Bluffs. All right, next one, 7061.2. All right, 7:27 arrival, 14 minutes, 5.1 miles. All right, 8:08 arrival, 9 minutes, 5.6. Well, I don't know if you know anything about Texas, but it is an extreme weather state. So the summers are very draining, very hot. It can get over 100 degrees for several weeks. And it's just something you have to sweat through. Winter, Octobers are usually a good time to come to Texas if you like to walk around and be outside, 70 degrees and things like that. So you can see the Christmas lights right here. So after October, oh, they're from California. After October, we go into November, and usually in about the middle of November, I'd say about mid-November, we start to feel it to get chilly. It starts to get pretty cold. Now, that depends. It could be earlier November. And then towards the end of November, around Thanksgiving time, it starts to get bitter cold. And then December, that's when it starts to freeze and things. In the middle of December, it can get pretty bad. And then, of course, towards Christmas time, it's usually, if it's going to snow, it'll usually do it then during the Christmas time. They're already getting ready right now. You can see the Christmas lights. And that's Sunset Corridor, which is a modern art exhibit. January can also be frigid and very cold at times, and even sometimes snows. But usually if it's going to snow, it'll be in December. Cinderella coming in October, looks good. And then Tuna Christmas, they're going to rip it up November 9th through the 17th. They're very funny. They're one of the prizes, one of the gems of Texas is Joe Sears and Jason Williams, which I have seen them live, and yes, I was highly entertained. They're very funny. I think I saw Christmas Tuna. It's been such a long time. They have so many of them. They have 4 of them. Anyway, back to the seasons of Texas. So a lot of people say they don't have 4 seasons. They actually do. They're just harder to see because we don't have as much of the changing of the leaves as if you're in the northeast of America, like Massachusetts and Boston and all those places up to Maine, because I've lived in Maine before. They definitely have a definite 4 seasons, but you do have a changing of the leaves here. It's just it's a milder changing, but you can see the trees change and things. But what I mean is the winter is nothing to joke around about. It can get frigid and icy, and we're somewhat prepared. I think we're more prepared than what we used to be, because they do lay stuff on the roads. They put chemical on the roads and they'll scrape it and things like that. But up north, I don't even want to talk about the winter up north. Is just it's a whole different world. The amount of snow that piles up. I lived in Maine, which is not too far from Canada, and the amount of snow that piles up is it's very unbelievable. It's like a dream. That's what I felt like when I lived in Maine in the winter times. I felt like I was in a dream. I didn't feel like I was in like a real place. It was so snowy. We sometimes can get cold weather in October. It is chilly. It's 68 degrees. It got down to like 50 something, I think, yesterday. But that's my weather story, not really a report. We're head off to the next delivery. I'm listening to Aurora. I always have to listen to something inspirational. They're from Norway. And just an incredibly talented band. Her name is Aurora, so it's like an anonymous name or whatever you call it, like Morrissey's name. Stephen Patrick Morrissey is just Morrissey. Hers is Aurora. She has a name, but she just goes by Aurora. Really pretty voiced, tiny little girl, jumps around. She's got like this blonde hair, really bright eyes, really blue eyes. I thought they were Icelandic first time I heard them. They're actually from Norway. But I'm listening to that song, Running with the Wolves. And then there's a few other songs that are really cool too. That's very inspirational. I like the opening on the Tiny Music. If you watch the Tiny Music episode, NPR Tiny Music, Tiny Desk Music, they're just really, really fun to listen to, and just lots of emotion and like spiritual kind of settings, long vowels, and a lot like Bjork. It reminds me of some Bjork's music, but more kind of folk than Bjork. But she has a whole studio stuff that she does, so I like the more like acoustic. I think they're great. guy that lives there looks a little bit like a current the current modern version of Jeff Tweedy, with maybe a trimmer hair. All right, next one's 8:26 arrival, 12 minutes. It was like a 9.6 miler. Aurora also does a version of David Bowie's Life on Mars, which does a great moment of making the chorus, or the moment where he sings Is There Life on Mars, her own kind of version of the song. It's a very good cover. I think Bowie would have liked it. Yeah, that could have been the spirit of Bowie making a comment. Oh wow, they're from Mississippi. It's a big community. It's called the Shelby. It's 4 floors, 4 or 5 buildings. But it's I don't know how long it's been here. It's right on the edge of the main 820 that circles Fort Worth. If you know anything about Fort Worth, it has a highway called 820. It's like a gate around Fort Worth. Oh wait a minute, I think I have to go this way. I remember now. I just now remembered. They changed it. I don't know, that guy's going that way, but I remember that they have a new exit, or they have a exit that they now use. It goes that way. And he's like, what are you doing? Anyway. All right, yeah. This is the other side of Shelby, but they usually have like a one entrance from the other direction, and then the exits over this way. I used to, when I first delivered, I'd always go through the entrance for the exit, but that was only if the gate was open. Probably could have, but they have the gateway over here. Anyway, it's huge complex. It's kind of like a Rear Window. If you were watching Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, even though that wasn't that big of a complex, but back then it probably was. This one's pretty enormous. I don't know how many it holds, but it's a lot of people in one area. Known as Shelby. And you do get residential referral, $500. The Shelby. About $500 for referring. I can put it in my PayPal. Mm-hmm.